Fire it up, footballers. James here from Spitting Fire with John Kass. John, hello. How are you, man?
Hey, James. Glad to be on Spitting Fire.
We have John Kass in the show, so let's get into it, guys. In a tower by the river, there lived a man, Kass. Oh, there was a man who took a stand with a pen and paper in his hand, defeating foes in every war with a pen more mighty than the sword. No escape from his ink lasso in a tower by the river castle.
Wow,
Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. Kass hole, Kass hole.
It's Casso, not Cass Hole.
John, that's what they're saying?
No, they say it's Casso.
They're saying Casso? Oh, I could not tell. That's why I thought it was really I thought it was funnier with Kass Ho.
No, I don't think I'd allow that.
Oh, John, you're a brave man, though. John, welcome to the show. Welcome to Spitting Fire. We have John Kass of the Chicago Way podcast here on the show. John, you write on johnkassnews.com?
Yeah, that's just like the billboards say.
Oh my God, did we see you on the billboards around Chicago? We've been reading you in the Tribune since I was a little wee one. It's amazing to have you on the show. It is incredible. How are you, man?
How many Fire fans have their own bobblehead?
I would say probably maybe about 8 to 10, because it's probably just the players and you, and they're all fans, I imagine too.
I know, and they gave me number 9 on
number
that
9.
Right?
John, you got that big head. You can score some goals for us.
I'm built like a midfielder or outside back.
Are you sure? You could hang out up top though. You could knot a few in.
I don't think so. Side-footed. If Sparky was in the goal, side-footed maybe.
John, how did you get into soccer? I know you were born out in Oak Lawn. Did you play soccer as a kid?
No, I was born in Chicago on the South Side.
Oh yeah.
And I hated soccer. One day, my dad, Tommy Valdez's dad, and Paul Kelly's dad were home on Peoria Street. They were home in the afternoon. For some reason, we never saw our dads at home in the afternoon. And they had a soccer ball, and they were bouncing it around on their heads in the park, passing it by the head. And Mr. Kelly, big, like classic center back, 6'4", tough Irish guy. He was a construction worker, and he's like, "Come on, John. Come on, Paul." He's calling to his sons. "Play with the ball at your feet. Play with the head." And my dad was like, "Come on, John." And I said, I wasn't born in the village like you. I'm an American, and we play football with a helmet.
Is that what you played in college or in high school?
Yeah, my dad gave me the mutza and just walked away. Years later. Your
first mutza, by the way, was it?
Yeah, oh no. I deserved many. I think it was once when I posed the chickens at our store in sexual positions.
Oh geez, that'll do it.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that.
Oh, that'll upset the old folks real quick.
But my sons brought me to the game. They were playing for the Lyons Township club team, the Lyons Township. What is it? Lyons Township Soccer.
The Chiefs? It's not Oak Park.
No. It was a LT. It's LT. Lyons Township Soccer Club.
Lions or something. Yeah.
They had good coaches, and they were all from England, so they spoke with English accents, and all the American parents are like, "Oh, you know what you're talking about because you have an English accent." And the Bears and the Packers were on. And I'm like, come on, guys, watch the Bears, Packers. And they had their own computer in the living room, and they were watching John Terry highlights. And I saw John Terry kicking ass, playing a great, as you know, great center back of all time.
One of the best, absolutely. And also just like a great champion for his club. I've listened to some of the things he said just after the fact. He's just a smart guy. I really like the way he thinks about soccer.
Yeah, I think the last time I heard where he was at Villa, right? Coaching for a little bit.
Oh, that'll be news to me.
I don't know where he is now. Now that Stevie G's at Villa. But so I realized they loved it. And I started I could see the bobblehead there. Yeah,
Yeah.
With the tape recorder in my hand.
Oh, I love that. I was wondering what that was. That's a little tape recorder. John, what are some of the? So you've been involved in youth soccer with your sons over the time.
Yeah, they played. They played LTSC. They played for the Fire Juniors. They played for Magic. Let's see, what else did they play? And I know I'm forgetting a club. They played for the Sockers.
Holy cow! They played for a lot of teams I've heard of.
Yeah, they were good players.
So my question is, since you've been somewhat involved in youth soccer, taking your kids to there, and maybe you can help us kind of figure out what's the problem with youth soccer in America, and how can we help youth soccer make the jump to where we think it needs to be?
Besides paying the kids,
is that part? That one way to start?
I don't know. I think parents should just chill out. I remember I got a yellow card once from a ref,
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
The typical dad saying stupid stuff. And and the guy who egged me on was that he was in charge of the referees for the whole league. And I don't know why he started it, but he started going at this ref. And anyway, how do you make it better?
Yeah,
I think the kids need to play in the street. They need to play in the park. This organized stuff where mommy and daddy drive you to practice and you work, I don't know if that does it. But I like the American team that we have. I mean, the USMNT.
This year, this looks like a good team. I kind of think that this team could do a little something. They're a little weak up front, besides Christian Pulisic, but and in fact, Canada looks stronger up front. But this is one of the stronger teams in years, and I'm excited for this World Cup. And it kind of sucks because we did not have a World Cup last time. How bad was that, John?
When it happened, because I was total fanboy when I was writing at the paper, as I call it now.
The paper.
And, the paper. And I mean, I remember, and so does everybody who watches it. We remember how good that team was, and didn't happen.
The team was good, but they seem to be missing something. I don't know if it was Landon Donovan or something like that, or it's just like they were missing something in leadership. And I still have questions about this team in US if they're missing some leadership too.
Well, I just freaked out when I heard one of the midfielders was dating another player's sister.
What?
I was like, oh no, I don't like that. These are your brothers. You don't date your brother's sister. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Sometimes you see that in football, though. Sometimes you see that where like, yeah, but I definitely know what you mean, right? Company Inc. style.
The main thing is, after 10 years of locked in the mud pits of sports hell, the Chicago Fire are undefeated, 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 draws. How many shutouts? 4?
4 shutouts at least.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Gaga Slinina. I think that this kid, he's not going to be in a Fire jersey much longer, John.
I don't know. I want $20 million for him at least. And I want them, whoever buys him in Europe, to lease him back to the Fire so he could, put a little more muscle on workouts, be at home, and then take off.
I mean, yeah, he's only 17 years old. He's not even college age.
No, he's not.
And we're expecting this person, this kid, Gaga Slinina, who's very tall and very mannish, to be a man, but he's still just a kid. He's still figuring it out. Yeah. All the same, though, props to him because, man, he's ahead of the curve for a lot of people.
Well, it helps when you have center backs, or at least one center back who knows what he's doing.
Let alone two, John. I think we have two center backs that know what they're doing.
Look, I remember Arnie Friedrich, right?
Yeah.
And he was good, even though he was a great player, German national.
His knees were shot, though.
And who was the kid that played Hunter Jumper, or somebody who played next to him?
Hunter Jumper was there for like 1 or 2 seasons and then was gone.
But who was the rookie of the year playing next to Arnie Friedrich?
It wasn't Eric Gehrig?
No. I liked Eric. Eric was a nice guy.
Eric's a nice guy. Yeah. Maybe the chat knows. Chat saying, Red Bull saying, "What's up, Magic baby? That was my club," says my little brother.
Yeah, Magic. And there was a team, like a Bosnian team. No, I'm not a Bosnian team. Serbian Montenegro team. It was the team that Georgie was involved in when he was a baby, or his dad.
Probably his dad. Yeah, his dad ran that team. That makes a lot of sense.
I forgot the name of that team that they were with too.
If I heard it, I'd probably ring a bell.
There are a lot of great soccer coaches in the Chicago area, and I expect to see more talent coming out. The Fire signing a lot of kids, and I hope someday to get out to Toyota and watch the Fire. What are they called?
They're called Fire 2. What do you think of that name?
Hate it.
Fire 2.
I don't like Sparky, and I don't like Fire 2.
You don't like Sparky? I've scored on Sparky. I scored a goal on Spark.
Really?
Oh yeah, I scored a PK on him a couple years back.
Give him but would you like to go up for a header against him and maybe take him out? With an elbow.
Oh no, I don't want to take out Spark. I like Sparky.
All right.
I'm all right with Spark.
I'm okay too. But I'm not. What I wasn't okay with for years. I was not okay with Calvo. He drove me insane.
Absolutely, John. Absolutely. Since he was acquired, he drove me insane. First off, he's like, I don't want to run. I don't want to play left back. I don't want to do the things that my coach asked me to do that I'm paid to do in MLS. So trade me to another team. And that's what happened. That's what happened before in Minnesota to get him traded to MLS. Because he wanted to play center back, and then he comes over here, plays center back, and gets his way, but he's horrible at it.
Yeah, and the thing that was really horrible was doing Cruyff's inside the box when you're trying to get the ball out, and invariably he would always try to get real fancy. I don't know who he thought he was, like a Spanish player, like Pedro Ramos or somebody.
That's exactly who he thought he was.
And he does Cruyff's, and then Jesus.
There's a reason, John, there's a reason that he led the league in interceptions and was one of the statistical leaders. It's because dude was only cared about offense, not about defense.
Well, he's gone now, and we have a good center back playing the left center back position, left footer. How do you pronounce his name? Rafa Chios?
Chicos or Chihos.
Yeah. He is something else. He is the real deal.
Wife Children House saying Francisco, quote unquote, red card Calvo.
Yeah, terrible.
He was. There's a John. Let me just put on your GM hat for right now. Let me fashion this little GM hat and hand it to you, and become GM of the Chicago Fire.
Georgie Heights.
Take over for Georgie Heights. I want for just right now. I'm going to give you 2 windows. I'm going to give you this next window and the winter window in 2023. So like coming, this coming winter. You got 2 windows. What do? You got billions. You got Joe's billions. Oh wow.
I could spend it and I could buy, or I'm like Ken Griffin buying Chelsea like
Yeah,
that.
you could
Yeah.
try.
What do we need? Well, we need another winger, definitely, don't we?
And what? But so you're not. What about Jairo Torres, who's going to be here in less than 1 month?
Yes. Well, good, good. But I mean, remember Nelson? Nelson, who was maligned a lot of times,
A
but
lot.
I don't. Pardon me.
A lot. But go on. I was agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, where he was maligned, but I thought he knew the league, and he would always talk about that short blanket. You could cover your feet or you could cover your body. In the MLS, we need. I think the Fire are at good depth at center defensive mid. I would like to see Jimenez gone, and because I just don't trust him. He has the mental breakdown that you can't. I just don't trust him. I've watched him play for 2 years, a year. I think we need another winger. We need another scorer, and we need another. I think another outside back, somebody good on the left
on
side.
what position? On the left side? So you want to replace Miguel Navarro out on that left side?
I'm not saying. I'm not. Look, these are young players.
Right.
Navarro's improved a lot.
Yes, he has.
But I just remember when we didn't have depth, and I'm sitting there. My sons and I are sitting there in Toyota Park, like watching. The what cup were we playing? We were playing that team from Kentucky. It was the Open Cup.
It was the U.S. Open Cup, and we lost to Louisville.
Oh yeah, and Panu is screaming at the top of his lungs at Brendan Vincent, the Stanford left back.
Oh, this is the game that made him quit.
And he said, "Brendan, blah blah blah, beep beep beep." I'm not going to say it on the air. Right. Play it out of the back. Play it out of the back, Brendan. And I just realized how poor. I'm not all the people that are on your show that are commenting, except for the one that wants to bring politics into this.
Yeah.
All the other ones I think have more soccer knowledge than me, but I'm just a fan. But they've had bad teams, right? Bad teams.
For the last decade, John, it's been misery here.
Yeah, but I've been a season ticket holder through all that time.
So is a couple people on our show, and we've been season tickers during that period as well for like a good 4 years, back during the Bridgeview days.
We the Fire got me and my sons into the tunnel before, when the teams were coming out. It was real Salt Lake, with who's the kid with the crazy defensive midfielder with the hair?
Justin Glad.
No. It was a playoff.
Beckham. Beckerman.
And Beckerman's like is swinging his. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Deadline.
No, he was swinging his head around in circles, and he's like, "Let's bleep and go." My kids were like 8 years old. They're like, "Oh my God!" They're looking at him like here's a psycho 5 feet from him. And it was such a great game. It went to PKs. Can I even say that now? Or do I have to say
you can say whatever you want on my show. We're good. We're live.
Went to and the Fire missed. Papado missed the field. Missed his. I almost said field goal. Missed the penalty kick, and so did other guys. And it just broke my heart. And I thought, this is going to get better. So I bought season ticket holders. I became a season ticket holder the next day. Wow. And from that time on until now, they've sucked.
Yes.
So I want to apologize to all Fire fans for bringing my bad juju to the club.
Well, hey, the juju's turning around and you're still here, John. It's not you. It's not you. It was something at this club that has now left and is now gone. There is a new light here in Chicago.
What's different about it?
Well, first off, we got this Joe Mansueto guy. I'll tell you this. I'm involved in a few places where he's injected money into, just in other areas of life, and this guy is Yeah, he's putting his money where his mouth is. He's done a lot of changing out of the rotten pieces of Chicago Fire infrastructure, John, and
Oh,
brought in new stuff.
I'm so glad that he had some rotten pieces that he got rid of,
Yes.
like Madron. Okay, I'm sorry. That guy to me was a cancer in the clubhouse. He dribbled, he dribbled all over the place like a kid, like
I
a
played with guys.
13-year-old.
I played with guys like that, and you don't want to play soccer. He might be the best guy on the team, and we might, but I don't want to lose that way. I don't want to lose with you just dribbling the ball hog.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel about the ball hogs.
I liked Luca, but he couldn't play defense. He couldn't run. I'm glad they turned over. I really like Luca a lot, but I'm not going to complain if Madron's gone.
They missed
And
Michael DeLiuve a lot. MDL, you remember him?
Yeah. Yeah, my boys saw him in an elevator once. They were going up in a building elevator, and he was in the elevator with them. And I think he had a wife and a child, and they were like in their 20s. They're still in their 20s, but early 20s, and they wanted to say hello to him, but then they respected him so much because he's the lion.
The lion. He was awesome.
Right, and so they didn't bother him in the elevator, and then when he left the elevator, they just nodded, and So I respect. I'm glad my kids respect the fire too.
That's how I usually am around celebrities. Like it's just like I see them getting bugged and harassed, and it's like I'm glad I got to see you. I'll see you later. I remember seeing Vince. I sat on the glass with my brother for his birthday at a Blackhawks game the year that they won the cup in 09. So nobody was there. Nobody was at the games yet. It was early on in the season. People were just starting to care about the Blackhawks again, kind of. We sat right there on the glass. Patrick Kane scored a goal, and there's Vince Vaughn sitting about 15 feet away from us, and everybody's going in our ass, and we're just like, oh, it's nice to see him. Later.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I feel sometimes about seeing the celebrities. I just know that they're harassed sometimes. John, I got some fun. Speaking of celebrities, you inherited the paper from a little bit of a celebrity. Mike Royko, my fiance, has a little bit of a book here. Helped get me through school in some compartments from Royko. Like Royko had some tips, John. There's like an education essay he has with all this education jargon. Literally, I wrote so many essays just using this education jargon toolkit that he wrote down.
Are you a teacher?
I was becoming a teacher. I got people in my family that are teachers. I teach YouTube now. I just teach on YouTube now. I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I pulled out of that. I just learned too much about it, and I don't want to get I don't want to say too much, but yeah, it's just not for me.
Noble profession, though, man.
Absolutely. My best friend on planet Earth is a teacher.
Very important. Teachers, electricians.
Yes.
You need power. I don't think you need journalists. You need cooks, though.
John, you do need journalists in some degree, but journalism has changed.
I don't think people want journalism. They want you to agree with what they have to say.
Right. That's not journalism, though, right?
If you don't agree with what they say, you're a jerk, and you're not a good journalist, and you're probably a Putin lover or something like that. And the same thing with, that's just how it is. And I just hope that, I know that many Chicago Fire fans, or some, don't share my political point of view. And I'm sure that there are many fans who do. But the point is, when you're a Fire fan, we all bleed red, man, because one city, one club, Chicago Fire. You know what? I think we could start something with the Fire. Tell me if this is lame, because other people tell me it's lame.
All right, I'm listening.
Okay, the songs that we sing, I don't hear people actually singing them. There's like la 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 da 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 da. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not. Now, how about this song for a Fire song? It's a Johnny Cash song. It's called "The Ring of Fire." Wouldn't that be great?
How is that not already the song? John.
Everybody that we'd sing it and bellow it, you know, like
How?
You'll Never Walk Alone, but this is the Ring of Fire. You know what I mean?
What? Where's the
I don't know.
brains? Where's the brains behind the brass? Because
I
you
don't know.
just struck gold there. And that seems like such a simple, easy thing. Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash. Literally, the Chicago has the Ring of Fire. There are people in it. We've had some of those
Right.
people on the show. Now just go the whole way. Finish it. You brought it up, John. We're stronger together. If some people want to be divided, it's weaker to be divided. That's the way it is.
Can you imagine everyone screaming, "Love is a burning thing"? What Shaqiri and all these guys warming up on the field?
Oh, that would be our song.
Yeah, I just
Our
like
song.
it.
I like that.
I just offer it to my fellow Fire fans.
John, I like that. I was in a little news mode here. I want to ask you 2 quick questions about the news.
Anything you want.
So, what's the purpose of the news? It's changed so much. I feel so disconnected to it, yet more connected than ever before. Even though I'm not like actively searching out, it just finds its way to you nowadays. How do you? So, with that said, there's partisanship everywhere, and we live in this like post-factual world. I got some of this from a podcast of yours with an awesome little guest. By the way, some awesome guests on John's show.
Was it Charles Lipson?
It was actually Megan Kelly. But Charles Lipson was one of your great guests. Brian Sandelau. I loved Jack, the Fishman. I forget his last name. Jack Ford, the Fishman.
I broke his rod.
Oh, that was a great story. Johnny Two Rods, your little porn name. I love that. But leaning into your own bias, it seems to be what the media is doing these days, making consumption of the truth so much more challenging. How do you deal with figuring out the truth from poppycock?
I read a lot. I go on Twitter to basically, push the column and push people that I think are important and like. But I think what you have to do is read a lot. And unfortunately, people with small brains don't read a lot.
Or they read less.
Right.
Or they also don't read. I think the thing is, I don't think that people realize that you're not just reading like conservative news pieces. You kind of read it all. And not to mention most news is kind of liberal leaning anyway. So it's kind of hard to find.
It is.
So, I mean, it's what do people think you're doing? You're just trying to analyze the news and pull it out, right?
I read the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Real Clear Politics, which has articles and opinion from the left and the right. I read conservative journals. I read Jacobin magazine to find out what my friendly, drooling Jacobins have to think about, and I read all that stuff.
That's interesting. I mean, I just find it, as a person on Earth who who studied politics and studied the world as I went through college and high school and all that stuff. It's just it's a constantly evolving process how I consume news and how I analyze it. And like you said, just like I try to read more than just one angle. The more angles I get on something, the more I'm able to. It's like a light refractory. It's like ding, 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 ding. You show more light on the object, and you get to see more of it clearly.
Think of it in soccer terms, okay, in football terms. You have people who are like, Sunderland till I die, and we suck, and the world sucks, and Sunderland will someday be good, but it'll suck for the rest of my life, like those poor bastards in that Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
Heartbreaks. Okay, and then there are others who are like, oh yeah, I mean, feelings don't matter. Okay, they don't matter when it comes to dissecting a football match, to see how the overloads are going, to see what the manager is trying to do with the wingers, with the, like, are we having a medium high press? Are we having a high press? Who's filling in? Your feelings don't matter, man. You have to. So I suggest people look at the news dispassionately if they can, right? Just, step back. Don't get all drooly about it. Don't.
The key word you
don't-
said is dispassionately, and some people, and I included. I mean, I think you'll include yourself sometimes. Sometimes we read something, and it's just like where our meter goes from empty to fill.
Yeah, because sometimes some of us, and I have to confess, I do too. You're writing to offer passion to the audience, and sometimes that gets people really passionate, and they start screaming and not trying to knock down the door of the Supreme Court, and that's called not not an insurrection. I don't know how that happens, but
Right.
it does happen. Right.
John, you've lived a crazy life. Just going through some of your history, you were in the Merchant Marines. Can you tell us a little about that? What for people who don't know what the Merchant Marines are?
The merchant service is like cargo ships. It's not like Love Boat. You're not walking around with a little uniform, pressed jeans or pressed trousers and marrying people between commercials. It's like a cargo ship, like truck drivers on the water.
Hmm.
And that's why I have when I walk around my neighborhood, I have a parrot on my shoulder and a peg leg, and I speak in like Liverpudlian.
Yes, I do know.
Right?
My grandpa, my Polish grandpa, worked for the Merchant Marines during World War II.
Wow, that took a lot of guts.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah.
the wolf pack were hunting German wolf pack were hunting cargo.
Absolutely, he had to evade those things. He's told me some awesome stories. I remember there was one story he talked about a gorilla or a monkey getting loose on the ship, and they had to figure that out. Like it got loose, and then it was in the kitchen, and it was everywhere. It was going up and using the top of the ship to kind of travel around. Nobody could catch it.
Well, then they should have just let him. He's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to take a swim.
Yeah,
Leave the monkey alone.
I forgot exactly how the story ended.
Don't pet the monkey.
No.
I say.
That's funny, man.
Never pet the monkey. Yeah.
John, I got some fun Mike Royko quotes here that I was just going through, and I was wondering if maybe if you could react to them a little bit.
Sure.
I thought they're fun. Show me somebody who's always smiling, always cheerful, always optimistic, and I will show you somebody who hasn't the faintest idea what the heck is really going on.
Yeah, I think that's that can apply to many senior presidents, political people.
On both sides.
On both sides, it applies.
Yeah.
Republicans say it applies to the current president. Democrats would say it applied to Ronald Reagan. I mean, yeah. So, but I think, Mike was a good reporter, and a tough thinker. And
a tough thinker. What do you mean by that?
He was a hard-edged thinker. He didn't, like I said, he would try to analyze, without using his heart alone. Sometimes people put their heart on their sleeve, and that's all it's like it's like reading Twitter, but like at column length. And maybe I do that too, and I shouldn't do it. And when I do it, I hope that Good Fire fans will call me on it and tell me to knock it off. But it's like you open the faucet at full speed and just vent your emotions. I don't know. Mike didn't do that, and I try not to do that, but maybe I do.
I got a fun one. I'm sorry. Go on.
I'll tell you one thing. Okay, what's bothering me is that I write a fire column. I'll write something about, like, say, politics, like a red meat politics, and everyone, people like it or they hate it. We write about the fire. I guess people aren't used to me writing about the fire. See, I feel sorry for we have some good sports writers in town, Brian Sandilow, Jeremy McCullough.
Yes, absolutely. I like those two.
And I just wish that they would be, I don't know how to get more people involved to appreciate the game. And I think it's just such a beautiful game. And I think it just pisses me off because I hate those old men. Like, I'm an old man, but I'm a soccer fan. So I'm eternally youthful in my approach. These old guys, they're sitting in the bar, they got hair sticking out of their ears, and all they want to talk to you about is butt kiss, butt kiss, butt kiss. No, I want to talk about Guti.
Give me a little Brian Gutierrez. Yeah.
Man, I think that kid has a future. What do you think? How do you see him do you see him playing the 10 role in say the next couple of years?
I see him playing in the next couple games because
we played the last one.
We got confirmation Shaqiri is day to day with a calf injury, a calf calf tightness there, but he is day to day. I don't expect him to play this weekend. Maybe
against the LA Galaxy. I'll be there.
Oh my God, he has to play.
Come on,
he has to play.
It's a long season. You know what? Okay, what do? Let's talk tactics now.
Yeah, you can't. I can't play him. And if he's on my team, I'm coach. He's sat for the day. I don't care what
formation?
It is. Oh, you know what? Brian Gutierrez. Nothing. No changes. Just slide in Brian Gutierrez. All the guys know their roles. Just slide in Brian.
Well, I need to have a role for Brazil. How do you pronounce it?
All right,
Brazilco.
So we play a 4-2-3-1.
I know that, man.
Well, I'm just saying I would play that 4-2-3-1, but
you would play the same. You would play it the same way.
I do differently.
Guti's a different player, but I think that
way different. Yeah, good point.
I think that he does have it. I know that Herbers has played a false 9, right?
Herbers can do anything. That is one of the few Fire players I trust pretty much in any role. I just think he's a baller.
Yeah.
Very capable, very smart, and soccer instincts.
Yeah.
Plays on the edge too. This year especially, he's been playing on an edge
because he's a podcaster.
I mean, yeah, with this podcast, but he's been getting a lot more cards, and he's been playing very, very. He's always been a slightly aggressive player, but I'm seeing an upped level of aggression from him and the role he's filling for the Fire.
Who did he diss at the beginning of the year?
Gonzalo, Gonzalo Higuain, smoker.
Yeah. I'm Herbert's football gut. I don't take crap from you. No.
I love Fabian Herbert, big Fabby. So it's funny you were just talking about the old man and their hates of soccer.
What is that?
I got something for you, John. Listen to this quote, and it's from a little friend of ours. Well, a friend of yours. There's hundreds of, I don't know his voice or what it sounds like. There's hundreds of millions of poor people out there who still ain't got indoor plumbing, but that don't mean there's something great about an outhouse. Soccer is boring. I've never seen a more boring sport. Mike Royko.
Well, that's because Mike was a first generation. I think his folks were from the old country.
He's a miserable Cubs fan too, wasn't he?
I can't help that mental illness.
Mike never saw a championship.
You know what? He saw the 59 White Sox win the pennant. Okay.
Well, that's the closest.
The point being, when I was a kid, I wanted to play American football and baseball because I wanted to show my friends I was an American like them. Okay. You want to play the sports of your country because when you're an immigrant, that's how you break in to the culture. But here's the thing, the culture's changing. And what we were about many years ago was industrial policy, and everything was linear, and it was like a linear approach to everything. Football, gridiron, geometry, land acquisition, torments on the football field.
This is a great point. Yeah, go on.
Now economy's changing, work is changing.
Work is no longer linear, John. Like right. you could work from home sometimes, and you could work from work. It's no longer linear anymore.
I work from home exclusively. I like it, but the point being that soccer is the game of the current culture, and the old timers that hate it are just afraid that they're going to be lost. And that's too bad, because
If they can watch baseball, they can watch soccer.
if you could watch, I can watch a game of baseball, a 1-0 game, and love it. Right? I don't need 59-49 games like they ruined the NFL with that nonsense. Right?
MLB has way too many games. NFL at 18. This was the best season, John. This was the best season.
It's a little too long.
It may be a game too long, but I'll tell you, as a fantasy football player, this was the greatest NFL season it was ever. It just was the extra week of football. We were all jazzed up. I came in last place, John. I went from winning my league to the bottom real quick, and still was fun here.
How do you bet on soccer? I don't know.
I don't know how you bet on soccer. I mean, for me, I stack a few parlays, basically.
We could call Antonio Conte to find out how you match fix, because wasn't he involved in match fixing?
Antonio Conte was?
Right? Wasn't he?
I don't know. I
better get a lawyer, because I didn't need to accuse him.
You can speculate all you want.
Right.
That's funny. Hold on, I got John. This has been so fun, man.
It has been.
It has been my policy to view the internet not as an information highway, but as an electronic asylum filled with babbling loonies. Mike Royko.
Wow. Well, Mike used to go on the internet, or as he probably called it then, the interweb.
The electronic asylum, he calls it too.
He used to get on under fake names and bedevil people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd do that.
That's a funny guy.
Back when he had the AOL, like,
I do remember those. Yeah. A pessimist sees the glass as half empty. A Cub fan wonders when it's going to spill. Mike Royko. Oh, man, I love that one.
Yeah, you know what? I could give you many quotes from Mike Royko, because he's still sitting on my neck. He's still like a 200-pound drunken Ukrainian Polish guy sitting right here on my shoulder.
Tell me about Slats Grabnik. Tell me about Slats. Like, what was it like inheriting from Mike Royko that spot? Like the pressure you felt? I realized,
look, it's like, what's it like inheriting? You're going to play center field after Joe DiMaggio or Mickey Mantle,
or go play for the Bulls after Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you can't. So you got to do your own thing. And people that don't like me or don't like my politics pretend there's. They spin this nonsense that I wanted to be Mike, and I liked Mike, and I defended him when few others at the paper would. Mm-hmm. But but I didn't want to be him. I wanted to be myself.
You wanted to be. You were always kind of your own guy.
Well, if people like it, they'll come to johncastnews.com. I hope they do. And if they don't, well, I still love you, man.
John, so some of these quotes I'm reading from Mike here, like I feel like he's ahead of his time in some of them. Like 40 years, listen to this one. 40 years ago, we were on the tail of the front page era. There was a different point of view. Reporters and editors were more forgiving of public people. They didn't think they had to stick someone in jail to make a career. That is Twitter.
Yeah.
That's Twitter today. It's like, how can I get clout?
I guess you get virtue points by the amount of pain and suffering you inflict on others, right?
It certainly feels that way. We're entering the topsy-turvy. I never went to a John Wayne movie to find a philosophy to live by or to absorb a profound message. I went for the simple pleasure of spending a couple hours seeing the bad guys lose. I love that one, but my question about that one, when's the last time you've been in the movies?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, what did I remember writing a column just a few months ago about missing the movies, right? I was dying. And then I don't remember what I've seen. And I don't even know if I want to see movies now, the way they are. I mean, I'm sorry.
Did you go for it, man? Yeah, have fun. But I know what you mean. I loved movies. I wanted to be a filmmaker back in the day.
I went to film school.
I went to film school too. I know you went to Columbia, right? We'll ask you about that here in a second. But I went to I got accepted into Columbia, and I was like halfway. I was literally walking in the door, and then I was like, I'll go finish my normal degree, and wish I went into filmmaking because boom, here I am on YouTube making films.
Yeah, I really like your John Kass bobblehead film that you're showing.
Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, I put
It's
strapped
like
together.
cinema verite.
That's what I just to get the nice little background stuff. I'm getting better at this YouTube thing and getting better at the editing.
Yeah.
What have you picked up from your what is it, 2 years of podcasting, a year of podcasting? I know you've been doing other stuff though. You used to have a show with Laura Kahn, and you used to have all sorts of stuff.
I've done radio for years here in the Chicago area, and in Chicago WLS and now we're on the podcast on WGN.
I highly suggest you guys go listen to the podcast too. It's not always political. There are some excellent episodes. Go listen to the Jack Ford was fishing episode, right?
Do you like the Charles Lipson one?
There's multiple Charles Lipson's ones. Go listen to every single one. Go listen to How to Be a Citizen. Go. That was a great one.
We're gonna have Dr. Corey Franklin on.
Who is Dr. Corey? Who is Dr. Corey?
Corey Franklin is a great writer and a physician who's written for JohnCassNews.com. He's written about the silence surrounding Leah Thomas.
Oh, okay.
He's written about the things that he was so wrong about in his life, like thinking about patriotism and fair play and all these things that he thought were important are apparently not. He's just a very, very smart man.
John, you know what's funny about people like you and me? I feel like we don't mind running into people with different opinions than us. We can handle it, and sometimes some parts of us enjoy conversing with those people, and not in like a negative way, but in a positive social cohesion sort of way of trying to understand this types of stuff. That's how I kind of look at it. Do you look at it similarly?
Yeah, I like people.
I like people.
I like their ideas. I like doing different things, and the worst life would be to be surrounded only by those who agree with you and tell you you're wonderful.
You can't be around those.
Brains out.
You're right. You gotta need some resistance. Iron sharpens iron, so to speak.
Well, I don't want a clash of iron. But,
okay.
But I just like I like people, and I like their ideas, and the anonymous, I mean, it's a cliche, but the anonymous sniping attacks, anytime you're attacked by someone on social media and they don't use their name, it's like basically like someone gave a cockroach a pen. He's writing on the wall at the mobile station down on,
I never really thought about that, John, how your name's attached to your Twitter, how I'm my public persona, I'm public, I'm out, I'm James, I'm here for Spitting Fire. Yeah. And then you have all these other people who kind of hide behind their names sometimes. I don't know. It does seem a little funky.
It's okay. People want to do that because they're afraid of saying the wrong thing and then being canceled. But all this stuff will change.
Do you think cancel culture will go away? Because I kind of think it's starting to, not fully gone away, but I feel like people are starting to get tired of it.
Well, it like you say something. I can see on the on this comment board on the side, someone's bringing up political thing.
Oh yeah,
saying, "Are you afraid to go to fire matches because of the overwhelming sense of lawlessness?" Now that's a reference to a column that I wrote when I was at the paper that infuriated many on the left, including colleagues. So everyone's playing their political games, and all I'm thinking right now is I want to see Guti put on about 10 pounds of muscle and I won't see it this year, but next year. And I don't want him to get hurt because I want him to play. Coming up with the LA Galaxy, I'll be there. I mean, with the Fire against the Galaxy, and I'll be there in my seats as I always am for every game.
John, next time I get out to a game, I'll make sure I text you and run into you.
Yeah. I'm not going to give out where I sit.
No, do not whatsoever. I never will either. No. But last Mike, I got last two quotes here for you. God tipped the country, and all the fruits and nuts rolled west. Mike Royko.
But they also rolled east, Mike. They went east too. You know,
they're all over. They're all over, man.
East and west, and sane people are moving to. Even insane people are moving to Florida now.
They're fleeing California. I don't know why. I don't know why. I do know.
But, and Chicago, and too bad, but
and they are.
That's policy.
It's taxes, policy, Madigan. It's all this kinds of stuff. I got a fun one for you. Once a nation acknowledges publicly that it's corrupt, there's a weakening, a listlessness. I got to start over, John. Once a nation acknowledges publicly that it is corrupt, there's a weakening, a listlessness, a nihilism, where personal appetites and longings for celebrity outweigh what was once understood as common virtue. It's John Kass right there.
Dude. All right, I'll give you one. Sir, to the witness under oath. Sir, why were you agreeing to the mob boss talking about using cattle prods on witnesses and other tortures? Why were you nodding your head and agreeing? And the answer? Because I didn't want to look like a chumbolone. I didn't want to look like an idiot, chumbolone.
I heard you say that. On one of your recent podcasts. So I looked up Chumbolone. I couldn't find it on the internet.
It's on Urban
Dictionary.
It's on an Urban Dictionary.
I'm gonna have to find it. I heard you say that on one of the last podcasts. I was like, Chumbolone. I gotta look this up.
There was a police officer who went to prison because he was actually the mob's messenger boy. 26th Street crew, the Chinatown crew. His original name was Anthony Pasiafumi, but he changed it to Twan Doyle. He thought if he was Irish, that he would get along better in the police department. And when the FBI was looking for a glove that was used in a murder, he warned his superiors in organized crime.
Oh wow.
Anyway, so he went to prison for 7 years.
Yeah.
He's out now. He did his time. Chumbolone. Don't be a chumbolone. Right.
Well, I thought you were getting into your Eric Shawn Hoffa episode that you did not too long ago. Eric Shawn came on your show talking about where Hoffa is. I've certainly long speculated, long had some ideas, like with there was that one guy who paints houses out in Detroit or Detroit area.
There was a movie.
I read a book.
Yeah, it was a book, and they made it. Martin Scorsese made the movie.
They made that into a movie. The one that paints houses guy named the Frank guy.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. Well, I actually didn't see it. I read the
book. Robert
book.
De Niro, Joe Pesci.
I heard the movie was too slow, so I just didn't see it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Because the book was darn good. Had me riveted, but also I don't know. True. But that's the thing. I don't know if the book is true. Is what we just learned from Eric Shawn the other day, and what it seemed possible what this Frank the painter was talking about. But when Shawn was talking about it, that seems very possible too.
Listen, man, do you understand that people talk about Anthony Accardo, Big Tuna? They never called him Big Tuna.
Yeah.
All the five bosses and five families, blah blah blah, in New York. There was a guy. He was a seminarian in Sicily. His sister was raped. He comes out of the seminary. He spoke 6-7 languages. Comes out of the seminary, kills the guy that raped his sister.
Yeah.
He goes to prison. he comes out when he's a teenager. He comes out 5 years later, and the witness that fingered him was dead with the same knife that the hour that he got out. And then that guy leaves and goes to New York. And from New York, he was sent to Chicago. And in Chicago, he was the babysitter for Al Capone. And Al Capone
What's this guy's name again?
You want to wait?
Okay, God, man, I'm enthralled. Go on.
All right. So he was the guy babysitting Al Capone. And from the time he was a kid until the time he was an old man and died in the 70s, he was the only head of organized crime in the country. His name was Paul the Waiter Rika. And you know what? They never made a movie about him. They never made a movie about him. Like they didn't give him a big nickname, and well, they called him
the Waiter.
But they never made movies about him. You ever wonder why? Because he was the boss.
You can't make a movie about the boss.
And if you're a criminal, what you want, like say if you and I were criminals,
yeah,
and you were really the boss, you would say, John's the boss. You would push me out in front, right? And let me be the boss so I could get the heat. But you know why they do that? Because they're criminals. All right. They're criminals. They're not actors in a movie about, she wore a purple dress and I loved her and she's gonna marry me or she'll lose her father or whatever nonsense. Right. These are criminals,
John, anyway. I feel like we got to have you on for another podcast and we could just talk mob history.
Well, anytime, but what I do want to talk about is I want you to get me another midfielder, another winger, and I know Guti's out there because I want him on the wing now.
You want Guti on the wing? I thought you wanted him at number 10 position.
Well, I think eventually that's where he's going to move into. Okay. But we need more depth on the teams.
Because I don't think he has the pace to play wing. And also he's slight of frame, as you've commented. I think I need a bit more beastly of a person, more physical specimen.
Yeah, he needs anybody in the middle of the field in this league is going to, they'll see the studs up and studs up is not pretty. Anyway, thanks. I just want to thank you and everybody who listened, and it's been a lot of fun.
John, thank you so much for coming on. Greatly appreciate you taking the time to talk a little fire with us here at Spitting Fire.
Go Fire.
Go Fire. Go check out John at johncastnews.com and the Chicago Way podcast. Highly suggest you go listen to. Even if you might not think you like the political musings of John, I think you will find yourself enjoying quite a few of his amazing podcasts because he's just a fun guy to listen to.
Yeah, and I have a voice of the nightingale, don't I?
That's so true. Florence Nightingale. Hey!
All right, see you, buddy.
All right, John, thank you so much for hanging out. I'll catch you guys later. All right, John, I'll catch you later. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here at Spitting Fire. Well, we got to talk to John Kass here tonight. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out here. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more Spitting Fire. Hit that bell icon to get notified of our live streams, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Fire it up, footballers. Wow, let's go. Get those comments rolling. What was your favorite part? We want to know. That was so awesome to just get John in here, talk a little fire, talk a little Chicago, talk a little mob history. Are you kidding me? Let's go. So fun. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Fire it up, footballers, later.
See you.
See you, John.
Okay, thanks, man.